US President Donald Trump hosted Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif at the White House, Sharif's first one-on-one Oval Office meeting with the US President since Imran Khan in 2019. So Sharif, accompanied by Pakistan's Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir, was received by senior US officials. In fact, they had to wait for at least 30 minutes before Trump actually called them in, is what we hear. The Oval Office talks covered trade, regional security, and wider global challenges. The irony here is most of the visuals that came out were put out by Pakistan's official handles, but not the United States, against protocol. United States would usually put up images or videos. US stayed clear from putting out any videos of their meeting with Shehbaz Sharif. Interesting point to note there. Trump basically called them great leaders. But the spotlight was Sharif's full-throated endorsement of Trump on the global stage. At the UN General Assembly, Sharif not only backed Trump's claim of helping broker the recent India-Pakistan ceasefire, he also went a step further, calling for Trump to be nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. Here's what Sharif said at the UNGA meet, almost endorsing and glorifying Trump.
In recognition of President Trump's wonderful and outstanding contribution to promote peace in our part of the world, Pakistan nominated him for Nobel Peace Prize. And I think this is the least we could do for his love for peace. And I think truly he's a man of peace. Had he not intervened timely and decisively, the consequences of a full-fledged war would have been catastrophic.
Now, Sharif also launched a sharp attack on India, branding it the enemy nation in his speech there. India, for its part, has categorically denied any US role in ceasefire, insisting the truce was bilateral. Pakistan's warm embrace of Trump signals just how keen Islamabad is to court the President Donald Trump, especially after the recent US-Pakistan trade deal as well. As Jaishankar has spoken, let's listen in.
A persistent threat to development is that perennial disruptor of peace, terrorism. It is imperative that the world display neither tolerance nor accommodation to terrorist activities. Given the extensive networking among terrorists, those who act against them on any front actually render a larger service to the international community as a whole. As we confront conflict, economic pressures.
All right, let me bring in our panelists on that. Ambassador Manju, let me start with you on US-Pakistan's bonhomie. I would say that Shehbaz Sharif there is glorifying and praising and hailing Trump and how, saying that the least we can do is to nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize. Not shocking, but such a fall.
Yeah, but that I think after what has happened in the past and how the US-Pakistan relationship was really in the dumps, this turnaround, I think Pakistan is taking full advantage of this newfound importance in the scheme of things in the US the scheme of things, and I think they are taking full advantage, and they've absolutely, I think, very smartly, figured out what is the way to his heart, sort of, and how by giving him this, what he wants to hear, by saying what he wants to hear, and they have managed to endear, I should say, themselves to President Trump, and it is an opportunity for them. I think it's all this while they had been shunned, and suddenly there's a turn of of the wind, and they've taken full advantage of that, as we can see. And now, both Prime Minister Sharif and the army chief are there together with Trump. I think that is something which is, which was not expected, and which was totally, it's something new. But this is where what President Trump, after calling them, it's the worst state, etc., and worst country possible, and suddenly now the best country and the best this thing. So I think what President Trump has been doing, we have seen in the second term, he has been constantly changing his stance on a host of issues. and including with Pakistan. So I think now this is something which we have to be very cautious about. India has to be extremely cautious about this turn of events and safeguard our, as best as we can, our national interest.
But it's funny and ironic how Donald Trump speaks of fighting terror extensively and supports Israel to fight Hamas, and says that any sign of a terror will be wiped out in the United States and whatnot. And here he has full support for Pakistan that is harboring terror on its ground. The double standards, it's so visible and it's so striking. Trump also doing this in a way to deliberately instigate India. It clearly appears that this is done to send out a message to India as well. Isn't it, Pramit?
One has to be very careful with Trump. There's an assumption that there is some sort of broader strategic concept behind it, but Trump often just says things that come to his mind. Piers Morgan, the TV anchor who said he'd known him for over 25 years, used to say about him, with Trump, ignore what he says, only follow and bother to notice what he does. So he says things that come to his head, but often are not connected to anything else. So I would say a couple of things. There is definitely the case that, as has been mentioned by the ambassador, that Trump is a bit of a narcissist, and therefore Pakistan, along with other countries, have been very careful to stroke his ego. He's very desperate to win a Nobel Peace Prize. It's a strange obsession that he has. And a number of countries have endorsed him, not because they believe he deserves it, but because they think that wins points with him. He is obsessed with mineral resources. He thinks that these are very important. Pakistan has offered him many, including oil fields, which do not exist. And of course, the ceasefire itself is connected to the Nobel Peace Prize. There's also fairly strong evidence that the Pakistani military has poured money into these various crypto schemes run by his family, and these are in effect should be treated as bribes to the Trump and his inner circle. The problem Pakistan has is that after this, they don't have very much to offer to the United States. They cannot buy American weapons because they're simply too close to China. Their economy is so small, it's smaller than, their GDP is smaller than that of Mumbai.
So all they can offer is praises and voting for a Nobel Peace Prize, really? Is that all?
Well, they've tried to offer oil fields. Trump got excited until everybody, including in Pakistan, pointed out that they've been looking for oil in Pakistan since 1915, have never found any. The mineral resources that he offered were deep in Balochistan, and nobody, including China, has the courage to go and pick them up. You'll notice that Trump said recently that he wanted to reclaim the Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. The Taliban said, please come and try. We've already defeated you once. You can't take it again. But at the UN, at sidelines of the UN, China, Russia, Iran, and Pakistan came out and said, we do not support the reestablishment of military bases by foreign countries in Afghanistan. So Pakistan, in effect, rebutted what Trump said, or I'd asked for, not because I think because they wanted to, it's just because China said that is our position and you'd better take it because we pay your bills, not the United States. So Pakistan tries to play this game, and it can, but it really doesn't have much to offer put on the table.
Yeah. A quick word from Zakir before I end here.
Listen, what I feel that we are completely clueless while they are meeting. We are giving our gestures, we are giving our conjectures, but I think that there is some serious things are going between them. Because earlier he called Field Marshal to stem him, and now he has invited informally to Shehbaz Sharif, Prime Minister, and they might be signing a formal agreement. One thing is there. Other thing I want to connect that there Netanyahu is committing genocide. The Muslim world and the global South is angry. He wants to divert the anger from there to letting defense agreement with Saudi Arabia, so there may be some sort of appease. And second, that they are supporting Pakistan, so this may be divided. So Trump, whatever Trump is doing, it looks that it is his charm, but in the background we see time and again we have seen that over the period of time he implements his program. If we consider our case, with our case, he was always praising Prime Minister Modi as our closest friend. He gave special book on Prime Minister Modi when he visited there. But what he has done to us, and recently he has imposed 100% tariff on our pharmaceuticals, which we were telling that we are supplying 30% pharmaceuticals. America cannot bear this.
No, but we are supplying generics. We are not, so we don't really entirely come under that. But it's a very blurred line. It's a blurred line. I understand. It's a blurred line, and it's sent
in one year they will be able to raise their pharmaceutical industries.
So be it. You know, Trump has been saying a lot of things. At the end of it, the prices
we are importing the ingredients from China. They will be directly importing the ingredients from China and raise their pharmaceutical industries.
Okay, we'll see. Ultimately, it's US will lead it, will go into inflation. Their prices of medicines will shoot up, so he'll have to come to a level playing field as well. It's not a one-sided game, right? Thank you very much.